Hi, I'm Cy, and today I'm going to be talking about child language acquisition. So, how do children learn to speak? Well, naturally, all children are born with the ability to learn language. No matter what language the parents speak, all babies learn it in the same way. A child growing up in a household with speakers of multiple languages can easily acquire both languages as long as they are being regularly interacted with both speakers of the languages. There are 3 stages of language development. Any babies born have the ability to hear and tell apart all the phonemes of all the languages in the world. A phoneme is the smallest meaningful unit of sound in a language. There are roughly 150 phonemes in around 6,500 languages. English has about 44 phonemes. In this first stage, babies are able to discern the phonemes which belong to the language they are learning and which don't. A child's ability to recognise and produce those sounds is called phonemic awareness. This is particularly important when a child is learning to read. Until about 6 weeks of age, a child can only respond to the rhythm of language. They can recognise stress, pace, and the rise and fall of pitch. At 4 months, children are able to distinguish between sounds such as spoken words and unrelated noises. They can also begin making basic vowel sounds. At 6 months, children are able to begin babbling and cooing. This is the first sign that the baby is learning a language. At this point, babies understand which sounds are relevant to the language they are learning and which aren't. In the second stage, children begin to understand how words go together to create meanings. For example, they understand that the sound mummy refers to the being that nurtures and cuddles them. This is also where they'll begin to understand word boundaries, where one word ends and another begins. This happens at about 8 months old. They can also recognise sound groups as words. They are still learning what these words mean, however. At 12 months old, children can understand the meanings of words they hear and replicate them. By 18 months, children can recognise the difference between nouns and verbs. Most of a children's words will be nouns. By this stage, children are able to create sentences and put words in the correct order. They understand that you say, "I want a pen," rather than "I want pen." They also have a grasp of grammatical correctness and its difference to meaning in a sentence. American linguist Noah Chomsky created an example of this. Colourless green ideas sleep furiously. When children hear this sentence, they understand that it is grammatically correct, but it doesn't make any sense. Although they also know that the noun and verb structure of the sentence works, they understand that green is a colour and so it can't be colourless, and that ideas don't sleep. By 24 months, they can recognise more than nouns and verbs and have an understanding of basic sentence structure. They know how to use pronouns as well, and understand the correct order of words in a basic sentence structure. At 30 to 36 months, around 90% of what children say is grammatically correct. The mistakes they make are usually things like adding ed to irregular verbs to form the past tense. They might say, "I runned away," instead of "I ran away." This is because they have not yet learned exceptions to the rule. Beyond 3 years of age, children continue to expand their vocabulary and develop more complex language. Their language use doesn't completely resemble adult language until around the age of 11. It is also important to remember individual children develop language at different rates. The best way to help a child develop language is to sing, talk, and read to them. Thank you for listening.